welcome to Cover Story. As the Bihar elections enters the phase 4 of polling, we here at NewsX are going to try and decode what the elections mean for the centre and also what is the mood of the electorate so far. To do this with me, I have with me Mr. Madhav Nalapat, Editorial Director, Sunday Guardian, Smita Mishra, Senior Journalist, and also there is Sudesh Verma, BJP spokesperson, and Mr. Brajesh Kallappa, Congress spokesperson. Mr. Nalapat, can I ask you to begin and set the tone for us from the beginning? How do you see the election going so far? And are we right in thinking, the mood is somewhat turning? Is it, should the BJP have projected a state leader, for instance, in the state level?
Well, Priya, I have always been of the view that the BJP would have benefited had it projected Sushil Modi. For a simple reason, that Sushil Modi has been the deputy to Nitish Kumar during the time when Nitish Kumar was an effective chief minister. Quite frankly, after the BJP left his government, he's been much less effective. And in the government, the face of the BJP was Sushil Modi. For whatever reason, that has not happened. But I'm not going to hazard a guess on this, except to say that for quite some time, I've been a little hesitant to give any kind of a verdict on whether one side is going to win or the other. It seems to be very much, if you ask me, a cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger. Sudesh, can I get you onto this cliffhanger? We are seeing that the poll rhetoric on both sides is getting, is it very personal between Nitish and Modi? Is getting desperate, is getting personal over there?
I disagree that our strategy is not working because it has worked in Haryana, it has worked in Maharashtra, it worked in Jharkhand. There is no reason why it should not work in Bihar, where we have a sizable presence there. And the issue is actually become more glaring that we did not project a leader because we thought that Vikas or development has to be the issue. When there is issue-based politics, when we say we are for development, the other side is asking vote for Nitish Kumar, then it looks ludicrous. You are asking for votes for what? Then people will automatically ask that why they are asking vote for one individual who could not actually become the symbol for Bihar resurgence.
Okay, Mr. Nalapat wants to come in and counter you on this before I take the debate further.
Sudesh is a brilliant analyst, but I just want to remind him that, look, where it happens, for example, in the case of Gujarat itself, there's a very clear projection of a very effective chief minister. Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan, quite frankly, it was very clear who's going to be a chief ministerial face. So in all these, the BJP definitely gained by presenting a chief ministerial face. The point is that you're talking about Haryana and you're talking about Maharashtra. These states didn't have BJP chief ministers. They had opposition chief ministers, quite frankly. So BJP definitely gained by presenting a chief ministerial face. The point is that you're talking about Haryana and you're talking about Maharashtra. These states didn't have BJP chief ministers. They had opposition chief ministers, quite frankly. So there's no question of projecting. But in the case of Sushil Modi, he has been deputy chief minister for a very long time, during a time when the people of Bihar saw good government.
Sudesh, before you answer, I'm going to get Smita Mishra on this.
Yeah.
Well, on the same point, I must say that like Mr. Nalapat just said, I also don't remember that we can draw any direct relation between the fact that if you project a leader during the elections or before elections, it means development has gone out of the debate. I mean, I don't think we have any empirical record to prove the fact that a declaration of a leader and keeping focus on development do not go together. So that is one thing on which I don't know whether it would have gone for the BJP or against. This is something open to the jury. The second thing which I must say is throughout this election, at least till the phase which goes to vote tomorrow, and it will happen more so for the fifth phase, I'm quite sure about it. I'm not sure the BJP has managed to keep the focus completely on development. Yes, when BJP leaders address their rallies, their programs, mass meetings, they do like to speak the maximum on issues of development in Bihar. How to bring Bihar at par in terms of development with other parts of the country, which definitely every Bihari has a right to. But willy-nilly, if you do not look at only the rally addresses or big speeches, you will realize that BJP has not exactly kept the debate completely on development through these elections.
Correct.
There have been digressions. And whether these digressions on different issues will help them or not, for that we have to wait and
watch. So you want to come in quickly?
Yeah, I would like to come and reply to what
Sure.
What Professor Nalapat has said. his analysis is fine, I bow to it, but at the same time, you see, we feel that after 2014 Lok Sabha election, when one leader, one name got such a massive mandate, it was never seen earlier without the party structure, you know. It was a mandate for Modi. We always believed that Modi made so much of difference, and Modi made that difference because he stood for development after having practiced development in Gujarat for 13 years. So that's the issue. And when we found that there's a tectonic shift, then one leader or the other would not matter. That is why I experimented, and we found it a highly successful formula. And in Bihar more so, because Bihar is reeling in backwardness. So development.
But you have a man who's part of Nitish Kumar's development story. You know, Sushil Modi, for 8 of those 9 years, Nitish Kumar was CM. Sushil Modi was the deputy chief minister. So why not let him have his share?
But why one individual? Any individual? Nobody thought that Manohar Lal Khattar would not be the chief minister candidate, would not be a good candidate.
There's a lot of skeptical looks to this at the studio here.
So the whole point is when the party decided that development is the issue, and we are going to actually reposition the entire strategy. Ask the opposition party that you have to give record of what development you did.
I'm going to move on to the opposition now and ask the fair enough. I'm going to ask the opposition now. From the JDU, we have also Ghanshyam Tiwari joining us. Tiwari ji, कहीं ये लगता है कि लालू और नीतीश ने ही सारा campaign संभाला, and the Congress, you know, you've given them as many as 40 seats. Do you think the Congress will live up to that promise?
Good evening.
Good evening.
In this election, when you see who is setting the agenda, it is the Mahagathbandhan that has set an agenda, and every time we have presented ourselves to the people with a leader who has a track record, with a promise which is in our Sajha program, common program.
Then why is the leader fighting only 100 seats? Why has he given so many seats away to Lalu and to the Congress? Was he not confident of winning some more seats on his own?
Well, no, each coalition has its own chemistry. Okay. We believe that we built a consensus. We believe we would go to people in a transparent manner, say that these are the seats we are contesting, this is the leader, this is the track record, this is our common program, and please vote for us. And look at where BJP stands with respect to all this. I was shocked, absolutely shocked, that today several union ministers, including Rajiv Pratap Rudy, responsible for skill development, including Mr. Dharmendra Pradhan, young minister, including Jitan Ram Manjhi, who's a key ally, ex-chief minister of Bihar, including Sushil Kumar Modi, who's been online in several of these things. All of them have been talking about this thing that JDU or Mahagathbandhan is showing advertisements on a Pakistani newspaper. I mean, this is an absolute lie which has been punctured by Indian Express as well as Hindustan Times, where they did a story saying when Sushil Modi or Rajiv Pratap Rudy put up this thing, people laughed at them and said that, look, this is what you are doing to digital India. You have a BJP who's trying to carve out a campaign on falsehood. And somebody was responding about not putting out a leader. What they have done is they have taken a Sushil Modi, corrupted his past track record, and now the same Sushil Modi who for 8 years was speaking in sync on development with Nitish Kumar, now he's talking about banning cow slaughter.
Okay, Ajay, let me get the Congress also into it. Mr. Kalappa, can I bring you into the debate also? We also a little worried that...
There is enough order for me to react to this.
Yes, so there is, but you will get your chance and everybody speaks, no? So let me get Mr. Kalappa in. Mr. Kalappa, there's one question that everybody is wondering, that, 3 people really want the BJP to win, which is Modi, Amit Shah and Sonia Gandhi. If Nitish wins, will he become a threat to the Congress? He'll become a bigger opposition figure. A lot of the allies would prefer him to Rahul Gandhi.
No, that is a matter of hypothesis, and the elections to the Lok Sabha are now about 4 years away. So where's the point of one person emerging after
starts
another?
Now. If Nitish becomes the giant killer,
in the realm of hypothesis, and I don't want to.
Yeah, go on.
Yes, first of all, Priya, I think it's very clear that water finds its own level. So if a leader were to emerge, then we have no difficulty with a leader emerging. But Rahul Gandhi has already emerged as a leader.
Okay, fair enough.
Rahul Gandhi has already emerged as a leader. He's known throughout the country. And today, if we are a major opposition in states like Punjab, in states like Maharashtra, in states like Rajasthan.
And you're missing in states like Tamil Nadu, states like Uttar Pradesh.
Kerala.
Let me get Mr. Nalapat
It's not possible for a...
Mr. Nalapat,
You know, Priya, I just want to say that, look, I'm going on the basis of results on the ground. In Parliament, quite frankly, Rahul Gandhi adopted a strategy of scorched earth, completely blocking legislation. We predicted that in Sunday Guardian, it came true.
Right.
We made a prediction in Sunday Guardian that Rahul Gandhi is a young chap. Even 10 years later, he's going to be only in his mid-50s. That is 10 years younger than what Mr. Narendra Modi was when he became Prime Minister. So we have said in Sunday Guardian that he's looking at 2024 and not 2019. His main priority is to defeat the BJP led by Narendra Modi. It is not basically to become the Congress party to lead or him to be Prime Minister, but to defeat the BJP in 2019 and then 2024 himself come as a Prime Minister. From that point of view, it makes perfect sense to join this Mahagathbandhan because they are going to benefit. Lalu is going to benefit. Nitish, I'm not sure he's going to benefit because frankly, the BJP would have been better for him. But certainly Lalu and Congress are going to benefit from this.
yeah, taking on from what Mr. Nalapat has said, you know, a lot of people are saying that Nitish, even if he wins, he'll have the Lalu around his, the Achilles heel of Lalu. Will Lalu become an uncomfortable sore thumb for him, a 10 Janpath, so to speak? And how will he handle Lalu and his baggage of Jungle Raj when he wants to bring in development?
No, first of all, I agree with you that whether the Congress likes it or doesn't, if Mr. Nitish Kumar manages to come back as Chief Minister of Bihar, he will become the champion of the secular, the entire secular brigade. You know, nobody can deny that. Mulayam Singh ji tried it, but I think Nitish holds a better chance. Now to come to your question, yes, that is where the tricky part begins, and everybody in Bihar can understand that. Even people who are supporting the Mahagathbandhan, whether because of Nitish Kumar or whether because they are supporters of the other parties. Let me tell you, just pay some attention to for the past 1 month or 1.5 month campaign of Nitish Kumar. The JDU representative here has been speaking of the Mahagathbandhan, but if you attend rallies of Nitish ji, if you attend to his press conferences, listen to what he wants to when he makes his points, you will realize he has been running a campaign which is not just focused on him. That is all right because he is the chief ministerial candidate. What is interesting is he stays away from issues which are being raised by the RJD leadership completely. So if you look at, if you were not to look at the names of the alliance partners, if you were to look at the points of campaign, the issues being raised, the talking points, you would think that these are two distinct parties. You would find it difficult to understand that they are actually in the elections together.
We need to take a
short
break.
I think this is a way to shed the baggage.
Okay, we're going to come back more on this, on the campaign styles and the issues that are at stake there in Bihar. But we need to take a short break, so stay with us. We're going to come back to Cover Story. Before the break, we were Smita Mishra here on the panel. In fact, let me introduce the panel first. I have with me Smita Mishra, senior journalist, Mr. Madhav Nalapat, senior editorial director, Sunday Guardian. There is Mr. Ghanshyam Tihari from the JDU and also Brajesh Kallappa, spokesperson Congress. And Sudesh Verma will be joining us soon from the BJP. You know, before the break, Smita made a very good point. She talked about the parallel campaigns that are being run by Nitish and Lalu. It's almost as if they were not in the same party but running two different campaigns. And that is something I saw myself when I was in Patna. You know, you have huge hoardings of Nitish Kumar alone talking development. And then there is postage-sized really Lalu behind him, because after all, when he's talking development, can he have the shadow of Jungle Raj looming large over him? So that's the question I want to put over to you, Mr. Ghanshyam Tihari. That what's going to happen? Won't Nitish be handicapped by Lalu and, you know, all the baggage that Lalu really brings with him?
I want to be very clear about this. When we go to people in spirit of true democracy, we have to present our track record, we have to present our leadership, and we have to present our program. And then entire campaign unfolds based on different styles of leaders and parties involved in this entire campaign. Mr. Nitish Kumar has put himself on a pedestal on several accounts. Even today, as we speak, as even this question is posed, what are we saying? We are saying that is this man who is responsible for turning around Bihar in last 10 years, who's been voted several times as the best chief minister and is now considered one of the tallest leaders in India. Is this man capable of taking Bihar to the next level? And we believe, my party, this coalition absolutely believes that yes, he is. And if you look at surveys, there have been a number of surveys done by different agencies. all of them have shown that people of Bihar also believe this.
No, fair
Now
enough.
the
This is
question
why
is
I'm asking you,
that
what does he do with
has
Lalu?
this belief transformed into votings? No, he has to deliver on the promises that he has made to the people, and this is the reason people are voting for him. We believe that this election has already turned in one direction. We have won this election, but this win will not be good enough if Mr. Nitish Kumar is not able to deliver based on the promises he is making to the people.
Okay.
So irrespective of the overall coalition we have to deliver to the beliefs on which people have voted for us.
Okay. Brajesh Nalapa, can I just bring you in before I get Sudesh? Do you feel that, that Rahul Gandhi has really been overshadowed? When he holds a rally, no senior leader of the alliance comes, attends his rally. When they had the Mahagathbandhan had a rally, Rahul had a sore throat or something, he didn't go. So what game is Rahul Gandhi playing?
See, Priya, I think we are now, at the threshold of something very big, right? And this change is going to happen, and it's going to start from Bihar. Now, how this change is going to come, of course, different parties will evolve their own strategies. Now, whether this strategy is in consonance with another party or not, the electorate of the Bihar state know for a fact that there is consensus ad idem on major issues by all three political parties. Now, how a particular political party, fashions its strategy is left for that political party alone. Now, if too much is being read into, how one person is speaking, another person is speaking, one person is not participating, then it's not taking the debate further. Okay, the point is that there is consensus ad idem.
Let me bring Sudesh into this.
There is a meeting of minds too.
Fine,
and that all of us really...
Sudesh, can I bring you into this debate? I think we lost you for a while over there. We're talking about, the possibility of, say, if the Nitish Lalu combine comes through. Yeah. How do you see that playing out?
Yes, Priya, you see, I would definitely be happy to answer this, but I have one request to make. You see, you have taken 2 rounds up there and not even one mine. So that is not fair. You are sitting in the speaker's chair, so kindly be fair to me. That is the protection I need from you. Now, coming to what Mr. Ghanshyam Tiwari had said earlier, I have to reply to that. That is very significant. He spoke about chemistry. What chemistry you achieved by, going through opportunistic alliances? Where was the chemistry before he broke off with the NDA? There was no chemistry with Lalu. He was abusing Lalu. And Congress has suddenly found that Nitish Kumar's reign delivered development, and Congress was criticizing. And why Nitish Kumar left, everybody knows. He did not leave on the matter of principle or ideology. He left
so
because
this is not an election rally.
He wanted to be the candidate. He wanted to give a spur to his political ambition. That is the reality. And how will people forget it? You do not achieve chemistry through such opportunistic alliances, and people are seeing it. So how do you justify this? On the contrary, if you see the BJP has come out from day one on this agenda of development. If ever we had to reply in terms of caste and all, because they always wanted to ask questions from us, we have this caste,
let me get in Mr. Nalapad actually, who knows a lot about alliances, who's seen a lot of opportunistic alliances. So we heard you. 1 second. Let me get Mr. Nalapad in.
I do want to say that yes, I do believe the best asset the BJP has got in Bihar is Lalu Yadav, because Lalu Yadav has had a miserable record. There's no doubt about it. So, but the point of the matter is that the BJP could have parlayed this record by pointing to the much better government post Lalu Yadav. Frankly, they are focusing entirely on Delhi and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Now, Delhi is very far away from Patna. They could have focused on Lalu Yadav by pointing to the much better government post Lalu Yadav. Frankly, they are focusing entirely on Delhi and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Now, Delhi is very far away from Patna. They could have focused on Lalu Yadav's Bihar and frankly on the Sushil Modi Nitish Bihar and pointed out how good that was and put more attention on governance in Bihar rather than governance in Delhi, because they have a good record of governance in Bihar and they just started the innings in Delhi. So I think the BJP has made several tactical errors, but having said that, I'd like to say very clearly that Lalu Yadav today is a much diminished figure. He is much weaker than what he was 15 years ago. And therefore, I don't think that people in Bihar are so afraid of Lalu Yadav as they were, let us say, 5 years ago, because today Lalu Yadav is a defeated, discredited force. I'd like to say that very clearly. He's a defeated, discredited force.
Smita, you want to come in on this Nitish Lalu?
Yes.
And what Mr. Nalapat is saying, the narrative of Delhi overshadowing Patna, I think that's a very good point.
No, in terms of the BJP, it is. Yeah. It is. There is a lot of centralization. And somewhere when you go to the constituencies, even in the Patna headquarters, you will find that the local leadership is kind of feeling as if, they are not being made part of the decision making and strategy building. But anyway, coming to what Mr. Ghanshyam Tiwari was saying, he put it very emphatically that when our leader in our campaign, Mr. Nitish Kumar, has made a name for being the, the architect of the turnaround of Bihar, and we will show our track record. Fair enough. But since you have tied up with Lalu Prasad Yadav's party, I don't know how you can completely black out the track record of Lalu Prasad and Rabri Devi's rule or misrule in Bihar, So that is a point I think the people of Bihar will not
be able to
they cannot forget just because you don't mention it in your campaign.
Okay.
But yes, I must say, in the beginning of the election, I felt it, and now I am completely convinced that instead of going into other different issues of all kinds of caste and religion and other things, have the BJP just stuck to the Jungle Raj slogan. The slogan of Jungle Raj, the threat of Jungle Raj coming back to Bihar, I think they would have scored better than anything else. Okay. Nothing is going down better than the fear of Jungle Raj.
Correct.
Sudesh, you want to come in on this? Do you think your strategy, Mr. Tiwari, Sudesh hasn't spoken, so I'll give him one, then I'll come back to you.
Of course. I agree with Smita completely, you see, because we emphasized on Jungle Raj, but Lalu ji realized that he was in a soup. That is why he brought this entire issue of caste divide, upper caste versus lower caste. This divide we never spoke of, and then we had to reply that which party you are attacking, a party that has already had social engineering. We already have representation from all the castes, so we don't need to do social engineering like you are trying to say. We want to march ahead for the focus of development for Bihar, and that is what we wanted to hard sell. And every time we were attacked, we spoke about Vikas. You see, any of the speeches of Shri Narendra Modi or Shri Amit Shah, you will find that nowhere you will miss this emphasis on Vikas.
But there was reservations, in fact, one who brought in reservations for Sudesh.
So to put us on the dock on this is not correct.
Well, I'm afraid I asked you a question, but
it never came like that. You see, nobody spoke against reservation. They twisted a statement that they thought that would suit them.
Okay, I'm sorry, Sudesh, we have to end now. I'm really sorry, we're running out of time. That's all we have time for now. I'm sorry, we need to wrap up this program. This debate will carry on for most of next week also until November 8th. But that's all for us from now. Thank you for watching this edition of Cover Story. We'll see you again, same time next week.